There's some breaking news coming of Pittsburgh right now, as the Steelers have just signed defensive tackle Daniel Ekuale to a contract. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they finally addressed the defensive tackle position in free agency, agreeing to terms with defensive tackle former New England Patriot Daniel Ekuale. But first, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, at the beginning of free agency, the Pittsburgh Steelers released nose tackle, defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi, and that left a major hole on the Pittsburgh Steelers D-line, and they did not address it in free agency thus far, until now, because the Pittsburgh Steelers, per agent Blake Barthez, have just signed defensive lineman Daniel Ekuale to a contract. And now, just to give you some background information and introduce you to who he is as a football player and where he's come from. Looking at Ekuale, he has spent the last 4 years as a member of the New England Patriots. He began his career in 2019 with the Cleveland Browns and also was with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2020. He's played in 57 games with 21 starts over his career, with 16 of his career starts coming last season. So he has had to earn a spot in this league and earn his playing time. And last season was the beginning of his career, basically, in terms of actually seeing the field every single game. So looking at Ekuale, looking at the season he had, he finished the season with 52 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack with the Patriots last season. And for his career, Ekuale has 91 total tackles and 6 sacks with 8 tackles for loss. So he's now 31 years old, and he originally signed with the Cleveland Browns as an undrafted free agent in 2018, where he did not get drafted in that draft. But he didn't appear in the NFL until 2019. He received a suspension for use of performance-enhancing drugs when he was on the Cleveland Browns practice squad in 2018. He also faced a 2-game suspension when he was with the New England Patriots during the 2022 season, although the reason for that suspension was unknown. He played just 3 games during the 2023 season before tearing his biceps, an injury that ended his season, although he returned to full strength in 2024. So, in New England, Ekuale was used as a situational pass rusher early in his tenure, although he transitioned into more of a full-time defensive tackle last season, playing a career-high 722 snaps. Per PFF, his most frequent alignment on the football field was over the tackle, with 372 snaps, and he also had 262 snaps in the B gap, and he lined up 21 times in the A gap, and played 65 snaps lined up outside. So that's basically his NFL career, and looking at his total production in terms of where he's lined up and what he's done thus far. Now, going back a little bit farther, however, going to his college days, he came out of Washington State. Ekuale was listed at 6'3" and 299 pounds with 31 7/8" arms. The Patriots had him listed at 6'3" and 310 pounds this past season, however. So, signing Daniel Ekuale is the first free agent move the Pittsburgh Steelers have made thus far, though, to address their defensive line, one of their biggest areas of need. Like I said, the team released defensive tackle, nose tackle Larry Ogunjobi at the beginning of free agency on Monday, so Ekuale will come in and provide depth at that position, and the team, more than likely, will still need to address this defensive line position, whether that's in free agency or the draft, but adding Ekuale right now at least adds some depth at that position and a known backup. So, Ekuale could wind up being a replacement for the defensive lineman Isaiah Loudermilk, who spent the last 4 seasons with the Steelers. He remains a free agent right now. So the Pittsburgh Steelers needed a defensive line. They needed to address it even before the draft, and they did so now with Ekuale. So, the defensive line position and market is moving quickly, and it did move quickly as well last season. The Steelers found a way to address the position and add someone with solid amount of experience before the draft this season in Ekuale, and hopefully this helps the team build their depth at that position. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they addressed the defensive tackle and defense line position finally with Daniel Ekuale. So is he going to be a guy who's going to come in and be your everyday starter? Well, he can be. He can be because he just did that with the New England Patriots this past season and put up good, decent stats. But will he do that with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Probably not, unless there's injury. The Steelers already have defensive line positions like Keanu Benton filled out. They have Cameron Hayward, who's a starter, so he's not going to come in and be the starter. But like I said, being a good depth piece on this team, the Steelers needed that, and that's what they get in him. The Pittsburgh Steelers were really thin at the defensive line position. I already went through it, saying how they released Larry Ogunjobi, how Isaiah Loudermilk's a free agent. But just in case you don't know right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line room under contract currently looks like this: Cameron Hayward, Keanu Benton, Montravius Adams, Dean Lowry, DeMarvin Leal, Logan Lee, Dominique Davis, and Jacob Slade. So it's a really thin room, and the Pittsburgh Steelers needed to add to it. And that's why the Pittsburgh Steelers went out and signed Ekuale. But to be honest, when looking at this team in terms of who they're going to draft in round 1, if you're looking at what the Pittsburgh Steelers GM and head coach and just defensive coordinator were looking at mainly in the Senior Bowl and in terms of the combine, they were looking at the defense line position the most. That's the eyes they had most on the field. They were looking at those guys, so you could assume maybe they're going to round 1 defense line, and you cannot rule that out. They need to get younger on the defense line position, and they need to fill out and get a starter there. So it wouldn't surprise me if they go round 1 defense line. So that's why filling out depth pieces and not spending a huge amount of money in terms of a big time starter on defense line could be the reason why. Because they're not going to spend big time money if they plan on going high round draft pick on the defense line. They could just fill it out with depth pieces. And maybe that's what they're doing here with Ekuale. Anyway, Ekuale is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. This was your introduction to him, and welcome to the team. Now, before I end this video, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the signing of Ekuale. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think they should have went out and maybe not released Larry Ogunjobi? Or maybe went out and re-signed Isaiah Loudermilk? Or went out and signed a different defensive lineman? Or do you like the signing in Ekuale? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And also, just in case if you don't know, Larry Ogunjobi signed with the Buffalo Bills and received a 6-game suspension. So he's now missing the first 6 games of the regular season. Maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers knew something, knew that maybe he was going to get suspended, so decided to cut him before that happened. But he signed a big contract with the Bills for 1 year, but now he's suspended 6 games. So either way, the Pittsburgh Steelers won at the end of the day. And now they get a different guy to fill his role. But leave me your thoughts down in the comments below about this whole situation, this whole signing. And also make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports. Everything surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers, I covered it so far this free agency. Every new edition is on the channel. Go ahead and check it out. And the upcoming highlights and analysis for Ekuale and every other free agent will be coming soon. So stay tuned to the channel for all that as well. Also, any rumors, any news that is involving the Steelers, I'm going to cover it. So stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe, turn notifications for this channel. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. Until the next video, I'm out. Peace.